Last 20 minutes of the Friday edition of the South African Morning. Good to have you with us. I'm Gareth Edwards. Ad agency Network-BBDO melting down 27 years of trophies. We're going to find out why they're doing that. The metal being turned into a number of tribute pendants, if you will, for all the people that have worked. There's a lot of them as well. It was inspired by the multi-award-winning agency's move to some new premises. So let's find out where the idea came from. The brainchild behind this is Network-BBDO's Roanna. Roanna, hello to you. It seems like an awful amount of trophies to melt down. Why? Were you just running out of space?
That's one of the reasons, no. But we did actually, we moved offices. And when we moved offices, we obviously came through with a whole lot of boxes. And in those boxes were like really heaps and heaps of awards. I mean, Network has been an amazing award-winning agency for so many years. And we just thought to ourselves, like, yeah, where do we put these? Do we put them back on the, the awards cabinets, pop them back in there? And we thought, you know what, let's actually use them in a different way. And in a way to almost sort of reinvent our agency and also to pay gratitude to the past 27 years. Awards sit on in these cabinets, they collect dust, and after a while, what do they really mean? And if they weren't awards, if they weren't people, they wouldn't be awards. So we thought, let's actually give a little piece of these awards back to every single member of every staff basically who's ever worked at Network-BBDO since we started in 1994. So it was about 670 staff members, and we melted down these awards and we turned them into our logo, which is actually a hashtag. Yeah. Before Twitter did the hashtag, just by the way, disclaimer there. And what's cool is every single pendant has each employee number engraved, like hand engraved in the corner. I'm actually wearing mine today. Yeah. And and it's sort of like us paying tributes to these people, and surging a new way forward. And I think it's just something we just wanted to pay gratitude, and I think the industry
it's such a clever way of Roanna, such a clever way of paying tribute as well. But I'm just more curious, as well, I actually wanted to speak to you. Who was the brave one who was sitting around a boardroom desk and said, well, I'll tell you what, let's melt 27 years of all the trophies that we've had? Who put up their hand and said, I've got a great idea, this is what we're going to do? What was the reaction to that? Clearly they liked it, but what was the initial reaction when you said, let's burn it, let's melt it?
Yeah, when you have ideas, sometimes you have these crazy ideas, you put an idea forward and you almost like in a weird way laugh at yourself and say, oh, I've got this funny idea. And meanwhile, it's actually quite a cool idea, it's so interesting. And, when I put this forward to our Manco team, they jumped at it, which was amazing. And I think that's just sort of shows you where Network has been, where Network is now, and where we want to go. That there is this bravery and this, like, we need a new surge of, reinvention in our industry, and I also we were lucky to have a talk by John Hunt recently, and he actually said, as an agency being small enough, you're at a place where, you can actually completely reinvent the wheel and really, think about how do you want to go forward, and what is really, really important, because you're not a huge dinosaur, a huge agency that's got a huge amount of staff. You kind of got this energy and this small team where you can actually rethink the status quo and rethink societal norms. And our first point was, how do we really position our agency in a way we want to and get it out there in the world that we're an agency that we're about our people, and that for us was really, really important. So melting it down it is a crazy idea. When we sat there and we actually watched these things melting, we looked at each other and all of it, we were like, we're actually crazy. Awards are really important, but we did melt them. Yes, we did, but we feel like we've almost injected more meaning into them, because it isn't only about the physical object. It's about the blood, sweat and tears, and it's about every single staff member. It's not just about the ones who got
and that's what I was going to pick up now, Roanna, as well. It's exactly about all those staff members. My final question to you is it's unusual, if you'll forgive my generalization of agency work, it can be a bit of a carousel of staff sometimes, and people are there, they move on, they get forgotten about, and you manage to go back and actually remember every single person. It's quite different to what other agencies would do as well. I imagine there's some big agencies looking at you now going, oh, we should have thought about that. That was brilliant. I mean, that's what the theme here was, to remember everybody that ever worked for you, wasn't it? Last question.
No, very important. I think sometimes people live in a bubble and think there's only a sector of people that are amazing. I think in an agency, it's absolutely every single person that brings culture and brings the vibe and brings the energy to enable an agency to do great work. It doesn't just take a handful of people. It's definitely not that. It's about the entire ecosystem of an agency and how every single person feels like they belong and fits in. And that, for me, is what really creates great work. And we wanted to recognize that. We really wanted to recognize from finance people, from the guys who are creating the production side of things, to the tea ladies who actually are looking after you every single day. Our receptionists, everybody plays a role in making, the agency work efficiently and enabling everybody to do great work. So,
and I think it's such a clever idea as well, Roanna, and especially during COVID as well, how you're able to do that. And while everyone's apart, some people coming back together again, that you're able to go and recognize it. I think it's such a clever idea. So glad I could speak to you. Roanna Williams from a Network-BBDO, melting down 27 years of trophies, making it into a hashtag pendant. That's just genius. If you're moving